Donald Trump's appointment of Sriram Krishnan as AI policy advisor triggered an immediate backlash from America's far right. What followed was a vicious online campaign. Morphed photos, leaked personal details, and targeted attacks against Indian Americans and Hindu beliefs and practices. Krishnan, a venture capitalist with an impressive track record at Microsoft, Yahoo, Twitter, and Facebook, became the unwitting symbol of a deeper prejudice. But this story isn't just about one man. It reveals a pattern that has been repeating for over a century. Indian Americans, particularly Hindus, they've risen through corporate ranks, led technological innovation, and embodied Hindu values of coexistence and compassion. Yet, they've faced hostility from all sides. White supremacists, religious extremists, and the far left all alike. Rewind to the early 1900s. The first wave of Indian students and farmers arriving in America faced brutal discrimination. British intelligence agencies, determined to undermine India's freedom struggle, fueled this hatred. Their weapon? A propaganda book called Mother India, spreading fear about disease and contamination from the poor immigrants. The result? Visa restrictions that lasted until 1965. Today's landscape is even more complex. With the US becoming more and more susceptible to different kinds of identity politics, often leading to violence, there is an acute need of awareness among Indian Americans regarding the online rhetoric against them, which frequently crosses over into the territory of racism and hate speech. The far right claims Indians are stealing American jobs, conveniently forgetting that America was built on opportunity and fair competition. They ignore how Indian engineers, doctors, scientists, and academics have helped maintain American preeminence in the 21st century. The left's hypocrisy is just as stark. They preach diversity while deliberately excluding Indians from the conversation. Thanks to centuries of colonial brainwashing, they've internalized the notion that Hindus are India's oppressors, dismissing their achievements as products of caste privilege. This isn't just rhetoric, it's spawning discriminatory laws. Look at California Senate Bill 403, built on the foundation of a made-up case at Cisco. Without a shred of evidence pointing to caste discrimination in America, lawmakers rushed to criminalize an entire community. There exists a striking parallel in 20th century America when Jews became scapegoats for national setbacks, accused of exploiting their success and colluding with foreign powers. White nationalists targeted them, but political influence eventually helped secure their dignity and future. Now Indian Americans face a similar turning point. As their prominence rises, they must confront prejudice and build a foundation of respect and opportunity for generations to come. In today's America, both political extremes, despite their differences, seem united in their contempt for Indian Americans and the Hindu faith. So what should Indian Americans and future immigrants know about navigating this complex landscape? Let's hear from Vamsee Juluri, Professor of Media Studies at the University of San Francisco.
So if you're a student or a parent of a student, please try to educate yourself on three things. 1. Learn to spot lies, stereotypes, insults, and recurrent tropes about Indians and Hindus in particular. Don't be fooled into thinking that when Americans ask you about the caste system or Hindu extremism, it's a casual question. The people asking you may be well-meaning, but they too are being primed to corner you with such talking, or shall we say, taunting points. Ask them to show their basic knowledge of India first. Speak in Telugu or Tamil or Hindi or any other language, and ask them if they understand even one Indian language. 2. Learn to speak correctly when refuting such points. The biggest mistake Indians in America make is to use the word leftists in an attempt to discredit talk about India. Especially if you're a student or in a campus environment, that word will not work in the way you assume it does. Most professors, university staff, and of course students and the youth in America are sympathetic to anything with the word left or liberal attached to it. 3. Learn to pick your fights and tactical silences to counter propaganda. Do not make it your job to defend the Indian government, a political party, or any politician. Push back when someone says something stupid about Sanatana Dharma, our gods, temples, traditions, and values. Call it Hinduphobia, racism, or heathen hatred. Tell them that even if they are not religious, they are simply promoting old Christian propaganda about pagans and heathens if they tell you stupid things about caste, cows, Krishna, or Rama. Finally, remember that you're in America to study. Your learning should include not only your subject, but also the history of American and Indian interaction. Other immigrant groups have taken much more control of America's thought process by learning how its culture and intellectual codes operate. Indians have remained sadly uncurious and satisfied themselves with reassuring lies and myths. Unfortunately, that cocoon is now unraveling. Deception is bringing consequences to the door. So change your perception and defeat the deception. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat. Stand up for the truth, speak it pleasantly, but firmly. Satyameva jayate.